Good day, everyone. I am Regine Tigo, and this is Chapter 13. The topic is economic rent. Economic rent is the amount of money paid for the use of land and other natural resources. Economic rent refers to a surplus value that is earned by an individual or organization beyond what is necessary to maintain or production factors such as land, labor, or capital. Economic rent can arise due to various reasons such as scarcity of resources, the unavailability of close substitutes, or a monopolistic market structure. Example aning economic rent, if there is a limited amount sa lupang taniman na magagamit, pero dako sab ang panginahanglan para ato, ang tagiya sa yuta at pwede sa maningil og taas nga rent due to its scarcity. The second one is productivity differences and rent differences. First is productivity differences. This refer to a differences in the productivity levels between the two countries or regions. Productivity is a measure of efficiency of a given output such as goods or services. For rent differences, on the other hand, refer to the differences in the return earned on a given input, such as land or capital in different locations. This can arise due to a variety of reasons, such as differences in the demand of the input or differences in the available substitutes for the input. These two are closely related concepts that are often studied in economics. Productivity differences can lead to rent differences because as higher productivity levels can lead to higher returns on inputs. Example aniya is if one region or country has a higher productivity level in agriculture, it may be able to produce a greater quantity of agricultural output with the same amount of land or other inputs as compared to another region or country with lower productivity levels. This can lead to higher rent differentials for land with a region with higher agricultural productivity. The last one is interest. Interest is the price paid for the use of money. Interest is paid with money for the loan of money. It is essentially the cost of borrowing money or the return on lending money. In the world of finance, interest rates are commonly used to describe the cost of borrowing or the return on investment. We have here mortgage rates and commercial rates. These two are the different types of interest rates. Mortgage rates are interest rates that are used for home loans. These rates are typically used for long-term loans such as 15 or 30 years mortgage. 15 years fixed mortgage kay 2.75%, while 30 years fixed mortgage 3.25%. Example ani niya sa for 30 years fixed rate mortgage. This means that if mukuha ka og mortgage for 30 years, then ang interest sa utang kay 3.25% ra jud. Kana nga rate steady ra na siya or naka-permi ra jud na siya sa sulod sa 30 years nga termino. Imong monthly nga bayad same ra jud permi sulod sa 30 years. Pero kana nga rate nga madawat sa borrower kay makadepende ra pud na siya sa income and also their credit score and the lender they choose to work with. Commercial rates, on the other hand, are interest rates that are used for business loans. These rates are typically used for short-term loans. Kabaliktaran siya sa mortgage rates. Kaya ang mortgage rates man kay pang long-term man jud siya. And for home loans lang man to siya. Kani siya pang short-term lang and about siya sa business loans lang. These rates are typically used for short-term loans, such as loans to cover operational expenses or to purchase inventory. We have here commercial real estate loan, 4.25%. Small business loan, 5.50%. multifamily loan 4.75%. So these rates vary depending on the type of loan and the risk associated with the borrower. So kaning commercial real estate, so katong commercial real estate nga 4.25%, are used to purchase or refinance commercial properties such as office buildings, rental spaces, or warehouses. And still, katong nga rate siya nga sa commercial real estate loan kay nga na-receive sa borrower kay nakadepende ra sab na siya sa number of factors such as their income and also the lender they choose to work with. And that's all for my assigned topic.
Um, Good day. I'm going to report real interest, economic profit, and functions and profit and total output, profit and resource allocation. Real interest refers to the interest rate adjusted for inflation, which reflects the actual earning of a borrowing money. In other words, it takes into account impact of an inflation of the value of money over time. For example, if the nominal interest rate in savings account is 5%, but the inflation rate is 3%, the real interest would be only 2%. This means while the nominal interest rate may sound attractive, the actual purchasing power gained from the interest earned is relatively small when compared to the impact of the inflation. Then, pure rate interest. Pure rate interest, also known as the natural rate interest, in the theoretical interest rate that would exist in a economy with no inflation, no risk, and no liquidity premium. It represents the real return that lenders would require to lend money and borrowers would be willing to pay to borrow money in the absence of any other factor that affected interest. Then, economic profit is a measure of profitability that takes into account the opportunity cost of resource used in a business. In other words, it measures the difference between the revenue and business generates and the explicit and the implicit cost. It occurs including the opportunity cost of the resources used in a business. Functions of profit. Profit is financial gain that a company individual receives from a business activity or investment after deducting all expenses. When a company generates profits, it can be distributed to its shareholders through individuals or reinvested to grow the company, which can increase the value of the investment. And profit and total output. Profit and total output are two case measures of company's financial performance, but they are not. Revenue refers to the amount of money a company earns from selling its products or services. Profit on the other hand, is the amount of money a company earns after deducting all expenses from its total revenue. While a company total output is important for measuring its sales performance, it does not necessarily indicate the profitability. A company may have high total output but still unprofitable if its expenses are higher than its revenue. Profit and resource allocation. Profit plays an important role in resource allocation within a company. Profitable companies have more resources available to them, which can be allocated to the various areas of the business to support growth and sustainability. And that's all. Thank you.
Good morning, Mom. This is my report about the 30 ICE Business Islands released by Inventors. Digo City, Davao del Sur, Philippines, Davao City Mayor Rodrigo has bound to post for the creation of what he described it as business islands. So, entice more investors to the country if he becomes president. Duterte said one way of creating these business islands will be to lease them to possible investors. He said he saw nothing wrong in leasing some of the country's islands to investors because such a policy would not violate the Philippines' territorial integrity. He said the government will still have full jurisdiction over these islands. If we can lease our land for military bases, why not lease an islands to create our own version of Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Singapore? Duterte asked in a statement referring to the government's offer to the United States to use some of the country's military facilities as bases. He said by creating these business islands, more Filipinos will have job opportunities. The jobs will come here. Going abroad must be a choice, not a necessity, Duterte added. Senate Majority Leader Alan Peter Cayetano, Duterte's running mate, said they would also push for the creation of more tourism and stage in Cebu to boost its image as the tourism gateway for central and southern Philippines. Cayetano said he and Duterte agreed that the creation of more tourism stage in the region would create better opportunities for the people too. He cited Mactan as example which he said was known for its successful industrial vectors and high-class tourism industry. Cayetano said the transfer to Cebu of the central office of the Department of Tourism, DOT, should also be expected under a Duterte presidency to decongest Manila and to spur economic activities and government funding into their parts of the country. Digo City Davao del Sur, Philippines Davao City Mayor Rodrigo has vowed to push for the creation of what he described as business islands to entice more investors to the country if he becomes a president. Nisaan nga iduso ang paghimo sa iyang gihulagway nga business islands aron madaghan pang mga investors sa nasod kung siya ang mahimong presidente. Duterte said one way of creating these business islands will be to lease them to possible investors. He said he saw nothing wrong in leasing some of the country's islands to investors because such a policy will thus violate the Philippines' territorial integrity. Ningon nga ang usa ka pamaagi sa pagmugna nining mga business islands mao ang pag-abang niini ngadto sa posible nga investors.